the name tag? We're pledging.
Already signed it.
I didn't sign it. I'm going to. They want to do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh,
Okay. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay.
Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order. We do have a majority here, right? Okay. There's a request to add minutes to the January 24 meeting. It's RZ 24.01.01, Town Center zoning as 6A.
Oh, sorry, do you mind if I?
Sure,
please?
go right ahead.
So, yeah, I apologize. I wanted to add 2 items to the agenda. We forgot to add minutes from January 2024 to the agenda. We'd like to add that as 2C. And then I forgot to put a rezoning on the agenda as well, even though I advertised for it. And I'd like to add that as 6A. And that one is a rezoning from this to town center zoning. It's right adjacent to Stallings Town Hall, these parcels. And I'll go over that in the meeting if you'd like to add that to the agenda.
Any objections?
I move that we adopt the additions to the agenda.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. I would like a vote on the agenda approval. I'm sorry, approval of the minutes. October 23 minutes and November 23 minutes and January 24 minutes.
Make a motion.
No, I
You need
didn't.
me to make a motion?
Anyone?
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the approval minutes from October, November, and January.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor? Passed. Okay, next item is number 3. It's TX 24.02.01. A staff request the text amendment to Article 21 to adopt and incorporate streetscape requirements into the development ordinance, and B, a statement of consistency and reasonableness.
Yes. So I know we went over this in November for streetscape. I added it originally in fee and lieu ordinance, and council and legal had a lot of questions, and I went back to the drawing board and talked to legal, and we decided that it's probably better just to make its own section called streetscape and not incorporate it into fee and lieu and not change fee and lieu at all. So I wrote a new amendment. It's 21.4 streetscape. It's right after fee and lieu, which is 21.3. It's a brand new section. Its purpose is to establish design requirements of the streetscape into the ordinance, and it's applicable to all properties within town center zoning, and also requiring a major site development plan review. And a major site development plan review is anything residential with 4 parcels or more, and anything commercial over 1,000 square feet, including additions. There are some exemptions for this section, which are government agencies, and as well, like I said, things that do not require major site plan development review. And I also added timing of improvements onto here, and it would be around 60% of the development being complete, you're required to go ahead and install the streetscape. Staff recommends approval of this. It meets council goals of their priorities from 2023, and it improves the appearance and accessibility of the town and town center. It creates hopefully a downtown area, which we've been trying to do for a while. And let me know if you have any questions about this text amendment.
Any questions?
And I can zoom in to I can't read it either up here. And I can read it and go over each number if you'd like as well.
What determines the major site development plan?
Yeah, of course. So I actually pulled up major site development plan review in our ordinance. It's, major site development plan review is established in Article 7.7-1. It's for anything, new construction and changes of use that are commercial buildings with 1,000 square feet or more, office or institutional buildings with 2,400 square feet or more, any residential developments with 4 or more units, any property or any development where public streets are created. And the other ones I've never actually come into, but if it, like you are doing an expansion of a building, and properties that are located with another, close to each other, that are going through major site development plan review, they'll both have to go into the major site plan review, even if they're not major. It's hard to explain on here, on the fly. I haven't talked about that one out loud for a while, but, hopefully that
That
answers
would
your question.
automatically kick in then.
It would.
Right.
And then you would have to install streetscape in town center zoning. Also, I pulled up the map right here. Anything in this like tealish blue is town center zoning. So this will apply on anything in that little triangle.
Of course, that'll be changed once Monroe gets redeveloped, right?
Once Monroe Roads gets developed, we are possibly thinking about revisiting the future land use for that area. And after that, we may do zoning, but that will be probably like 2026, 27. So, a little bit of ways, but not, goes by fast.
Could be tomorrow.
Yeah.
They're actually starting. I'm just
Yeah, they're relocating utilities and everything,
fighting.
yeah. It looks
When I
like a
saw that
wasteland,
guy out there
but
the first day, I saw somebody, I was like, oh my God. People are like, what are they doing? I'm like, that's road widening. I know it. I'm so proud of myself.
and I also wanted to,
Deforestation.
I also wanted to
I know, some
make
of
sure
it
the planning board knew that you could also recommend approval or denial and recommend the statement of consistency all in one statement, in sentence, if you'd like to, or we could do it separately. I just wanted to kind of remind the board.
Well, I'll make a motion that we approve. I don't know how many times approve.
Here, I'll put,
What is it? TX 24.02.01 streetscape.
yep.
Um,
And
and,
it's up to you, it's up to you.
where is the,
This is the statement of consistency.
statement of consistency and reasonableness,
Just about 'em.
Say this, because it accomplished.
because it accomplished the goals from the 2023 Town Council retreat and its requirements for the streetscape adopted plans.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Good job. I hope you didn't feel pushed on that.
No, I try to do it all in one, because
Oh, she's gonna do the next one too.
I don't like doing two.
She did such a good job.
I'm trying really hard to get this down.
Okay.
It's about time.
Item 4, TX 24.02.02. Staff requests a text amendment to Article 8 to change industrial district setbacks to match the setbacks of building lot type highway commercial in Article 9.
So this is TX 240202. This is, long story short, council has been really looking to improve industrial zoning throughout town. They're really specifically looking at Union West Business Park. So when I looked at the zoning category, I thought the dimensions in this chart are way too large to promote growth in industrial zoning. So I looked at the other requirements that are in industrial zoning, like highway building lot type, and they really already have setbacks, buffers, landscaping as well. So if we, as staff, remove these dimensional requirements in this chart, as I show you in the text amendment right here, I'm just removing the dimensional requirements. You still have highway lot type building standards. So for example, the buildings, all new buildings still have to be 12 to 115 feet away from the right of way. from the street, so that's at least a minimum of 12-foot setback. But that could be negotiated with me as staff during the development review process. They have larger setbacks in, under special conditions, like if they're adjacent to residential, they'd be required to have a 40-foot buffer between landscape buffer between residential and the industrial district. Their parking still has to be in the rear. Side yard parking can't be 35% of the frontage. They still have building lot height requirements. But there's also no changes in the uses for this text amendment. The only new regulation that this would bring is there will be no minimum lot sizes in industrial, but I think that's okay because when you look at the zoning map, I'm just gonna zoom in on Gribble Road. This purple is industrial zoning. All these parcels, I would say every single one of these parcels are non-conforming to the dimensional requirements on that chart. It forces all these developments, if they want to redevelop or put something new on the property, to go through a conditional zoning. And so if we want to promote our industrial zoning district, we already have it in town. We're looking to add new business opportunities for businesses in Stallings. I think just removing these dimensional requirements would really help the industrial zoning a lot. They still have parking and landscaping requirements, buffer requirements adjacent to residential and some other zoning districts as well. And I do believe it enhances the industrial district and promotes the council's goals that they've been seeking for the industrial park. Any questions?
Will the zoning be changed on the new Monroe Road, after the new Monroe Road development?
No. And if it does, it would come to planning board before you would.
Was the town council looking to develop commercial on that road?
No.
I see. Not at this moment. We are looking in a downtown still. But we've started focusing our efforts on this side of Monroe, or on Stallings, and then maybe focusing on Potter once the Monroe Road widening finishes and we see what that looks like.
The only commercial is like office stuff that goes down Monroe Road and it's still,
Yeah, I can show you the zoning map.
you know,
On Monroe Road, there actually
little
is
houses
industrial.
right up there
So
going
Monroe,
down. Just a little bit.
It's
It's like
a
a little strip.
sliver of industrial, all of these parcels, well, maybe this one is not non-conforming, but I mean, this frontage one is a non-conforming parcel, so if it was to be redeveloped, they wouldn't be able to without a conditional zoning. And council at this time is not looking to rezone anything on Monroe Road, as far as I'm aware.
Rest of that. Let me see,
And this is Monroe Road right here. And we are located this very second, we're in this parcel, right here.
okay, go down, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
right.
there's no industrial parcels down here.
Yeah, see, there's nothing. It's just,
All the industrial is on Gribble, Matthews Indian Trail, and Union West Business Park usually, most of it.
and that green is like just
Mixed use,
office
too.
or, yeah, yeah, that's what I
It
thought.
promotes office, retail, and light commercial, and a mixture of uses, like,
Yeah,
that's what's promoting.
that's about the only.
And then you get into Indian Trail, past Park Meadows. But there's no industrial. So we would only be looking at the parcels that are in, for this text amendment, would only be affecting everything in purple on this map.
Right.
Which is Gribble Road, where the railroad tracks are,
Right.
Matthews Indian Trail, and then the north side is Union West Business Park. And that's all of the industrial in town. There's a little bit of industrial in Monroe, but those aren't heavy industrial uses.
But they could become commercial, though.
It's,
There's going to be a lot of, it's just going to be different. You got that Athens Pizza there and a couple of other stores
so I
there.
would say there's no rezonings taking place right now for commercial, other than the text amendment for 6A. Let's just say that. And then, this text amendment does not affect anything on Old Monroe Road other than this purple right now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'll all be.
They're going to save the Rock House?
Yeah,
They are.
That's why because
They stop
they're
the
going
trees
around
right
from one
there.
side to the other. Yeah. It's kind of weird how they're kind of angling away from the rock house.
Because usually when roads are improved like this, it encourages development, you know, and
Yeah.
Well, I don't think this is gonna be, it's gonna be more like a, get a look. They want it to be more like a, in part of it, that part of it, kind of like Ray Road or Providence Road, where you have there are neighborhoods on the sides of those, and then what's empty now would be just like you said, MU two.
But
So you're going down, and it's only right turn out. So, I mean, I don't think that's gonna be, there's not a lot of land to do a whole lot with anyway.
yeah, I'd be happy to discuss after the meeting, yeah. This one doesn't affect anything really on Olin Road, though, this text amendment, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I make a motion that we, approve this TX
I'll zoom up.
10202.
24.
240202.
.020.
Yep, that's good.
0.02.
And,
And,
and I find that, statement of reasonable, consistency and reasonableness, that I do find that the text amendment improves flexibility of development in the industrial zoning category and promotes the town's objective in enhancing industrial zoned areas.
got the hang of it, you're great, that's good.
All in favor?
We got a second?
We got a second.
I'll
Second. All in favor?
Okay, great.
All right. Okay, item 5, TX 24.02.03. Staff requests the text amendment to Article 11 to adopt and incorporate a land development permit.
Good evening, Planning Board.
George. Planner 1.
So this one probably looks a little messy on your paper. I do apologize for that, but what you see on the screen right now is 11.10-2, and then following is how it currently reads with no changes. This is what it currently is right now in our ordinance. And so Article 11.10 is what establishes our tree protection plan permit. And so, as you can see here, there's a few different requirements in place of when this is engaged. And so when there's removal and excessively pruning of trees, clearing vegetation, beginning and removing topsoil, et cetera. However, these exemptions come into place. And essentially what staff has run into is unless there is movement and disturbance of over 3,000 square feet of tree, we don't have a permit that really catches land disturbing activity. And we've run into a few issues in recent months. So we've come up with the land disturbance permit, and that's what you're seeing here. So what we're doing is, instead of the tree protection plan being at the top, we've bumped it down. We're gonna start with the land disturbance permit. Guaranteed, you will always have to meet this once you meet the minimum threshold of land disturbance. And if you are disturbing trees, then we'll drop you down into a tree disturbance or tree protection plan. So keep that in mind as we kind of bump through here. And so the idea is that anyone who is making disturbance activities greater than a quarter acre, not in a residential capacity, is going to fall under this ordinance. The purpose of this is to try and protect our tree canopy, try and protect our topsoil, but most importantly, we want to follow suit with NCDEQ, which is the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality. They have some standards in place for when you're removing topsoil. You start changing stormwater infrastructure, you start changing soil and erosion capacity, and if there's not a plan in place, we've seen people come in and fill their lot too high, and now they're creating runoff, and water is now running into their neighbor's parcel, and there's no way for the town to catch that and try and get everything worked out before bulldozers showed up on site. And so as we work through, we've pretty much just split the permits, created a new permit section. You see all this in red, and then when we get down into the tree protection plan, we've put in the red that says this is only required when there are plans to actually disturb trees. And if there's not plans, then you need a land disturbance permit if you're not removing trees. And then the rest of the changes are really just moving these numbers because these numbers had to be adjusted in Article 11.10. We do think that this permit would be consistent with our mission as staff, and that's to create a development ordinance that we can understand and residents can understand, as well as it meets our comprehensive land use plan strategies. One of those strategies is OS-5.1, requiring a review of all projects for stormwater impact and engendering a natural environment of the highest quality. We would think this protects our landscape and ensures that staff is aware of any stormwater impact in the town.
Okay. What is excessive pruning?
So if you have a full-grown mature tree that is 10 feet at full-grown and, you know, let's say it has a tree canopy of 8 feet as wide, an excessive pruning would be to cut that past its full maturity for a tree of that size or a bush of that size. So if you have a bush that should naturally be the size of this podium and you chop it in half, that would be excessive pruning, that this would be its natural state, beyond obviously cosmetic, or if there's a damaged tree limb or something like that, that could be
Hard to
pruned.
catch. Once it's pruned, it's pruned.
Yeah.
You know, like we had a couple of years ago with that truck place on Stallings Road. They were taking the trees down and everything prior to letting anybody know.
Yeah.
And they were fined for that.
So this would, there's a lot of scenarios, but technically if you're tearing down trees without
Yes.
a permit at all, you're gonna get fined.
Right.
If you're gonna do a
Yeah.
this is different.
And to provide an example, kind of
It's in the right direction.
what staff is seeing is that there are lots that have been empty for quite some time. They have really no tree canopy, mainly just some underbrush and shrubbery. And there are, if you're not planning to place a building in a use, then staff has no review metric. And so what landowners are doing are they're just clear cutting their land, prepping it for sale without a use. So there's no permit process, there's no review process, it's kind of just,
That covers major developers taking all the soil away.
correct.
And leaving clay and,
Anything over a quarter acre
Yeah.
would trigger this, or any development that is 4 or more houses, or any development for commercial use.
good, yeah. Okay, any questions? I have a motion.
I'll make a motion
We're busy tonight.
that we approve the TX 24.02.03, and we find that it's consistent and reasonable due to the text amendment enhancing clarity and stalling development ordinance, improving the public understanding and staff application. And that it is,
Requiring review.
yeah, it requires review of all projects for stormwater impact and engineering, natural environment, highest quality.
Have a second.
Second.
All in favor? Good. Number 6, TX 24.02.04, staff request the text amendment to Article 8 to amend the definition of town center.
So, with the next rezoning, then the next after this is why I'm changing the definition. Currently, the definition says that all town center zoning shall be contiguous. I just want to remove that line so that we have more flexibility on where town center could be placed. We have, for example, this town hall is zoned civic, so we can't zone anything that way town center unless this text gets removed. And I just think that as staff, it provides us a little more flexibility to create a better downtown, town center, and it's still up to council. Final decision on whether another property gets zoned town center. So I don't think there's gonna be just town center popping up all over town, because as staff, I wouldn't recommend that either. But there is opportunity where there could be like one different zoning in between or town center zonings. And that is what this text amendment does.
Pressure on us, isn't it, to approve this?
Yeah, this is just one line I'm removing, this
A
expansion.
lot of
dir-
pressure here,
Yeah,
you know.
so, any questions?
No questions? Do I have a motion?
You want me to do it? Okay. I make a motion to approve TX 24.02.04 to amend the definition of the town center, and I also make a motion that this, it is consistent and reasonable.
So,
The text amendment maintains clarity in the Stallings development ordinance, and the text amendment allows for greater flexibility in future planning and development decisions.
All in favor?
I'll second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Whoever.
second?
That
and then
was
all in
such a
favor.
good job, I forgot about the second.
Thank you so much, yes, great, okay.
Okay, 6A, RZ 24.01.01, Town Center zoning and statement.
So I forgot to put this on the agenda, but I did advertise for it. We had a community meeting earlier this month. Still pulling it up, I apologize. We had a community meeting for all of these addresses below, and I'll show you on the map where these parcels are. We had a good turnout. There's like 20 people showed up that own these businesses, live in some of these houses, and we had a good feedback. And I didn't get a lot of verbal opposition at this meeting, and it was really nice to meet all those property owners and explain what the town would like to do. Essentially, so this is our zoning map. So this is where our parcel of town hall is that I have highlighted. And I actually am gonna go ahead and turn on imagery that would be helpful. This light blue right here is actually VSR zoning. It's not town center or civic. We have had a lot of text amendments over the last year. We had 4. We've had multiple throughout the years. VSR is very restrictive. It only allows automotive uses. And as the properties are getting developed, we're seeing a lot of downtown type of uses wanting to locate there. So as staff, we're looking into rezoning from town hall, not town hall itself, but next to town hall, which we own the property of, and the property next door. And then all the way down to Industrial Drive. Everything highlighted in this map right here.
Wow.
To town center. What this does is it brings opportunity to create a downtown this way. Town council, we've been looking into creating a downtown area right here at the James River Building. And Monroe Road is splitting downtown center in half. So a lot of our efforts have started to kind of move this direction. And I see a great opportunity for this to create a downtown here as well. It actually opens up a lot of uses for these property owners as well. If they were to sell or wanting to relocate to a new business. But if they did not, they would still be grandfathered in at their use. All of their automotive uses are still grandfathered. They can continue as long as they stay in business and are not vacant for long, or try to make good faith efforts within 3 years. So it's still a long time before any of those businesses possibly could go away. But I do see a lot of great opportunities, like the white building that got burned down and rebuilt. A lot of downtown type of uses want to locate there, like a bakery. We've had a photo studio want to locate there. And they are not, the bakery had to come for a text amendment. The photography studio is not allowed unless the zoning passes or they do a text amendment. So that, for example, that person's waiting to see how this text amendment goes. or this rezoning goes. But, you have any questions?
Are there any current residents
There are two.
gonna change their taxes drastically?
It
Do they
may,
know what they're signing up for?
so currently, there's only one single-family zoning in this area that I'm rezoning.
Okay.
There is one residential use unit that's mixed-use two, and they should have similar taxes to the mixed-use two property. I would say still not as much, but I would say their taxes may go up. I'm not a tax assessor, but there's only one parcel. It is the largest residential parcel. That person did show up to the community meeting, and I did not get any feedback from them.
They can't be
didn't-
grandfathered in, like,
He is yeah, they would be grandfathered in
for,
for.
for the
taxes change.
taxes.
Yeah, but you're yeah.
I don't know when the tax evaluation from Union County is. So you'd be probably vested for a while, but I don't know.
Could the change potentially increase their potential resale value?
It would increase their resale value.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And so since the town center is going this way, and I don't know what that property owner is just gonna decide to do with their property, but there's great potential for the future of that property.
Did they say anything to you?
No, he didn't say anything negative about the rezoning to me. He did ask about what uses could be, but I don't remember saying anything negative.
Well, the property's value is gonna go up.
I know, but it's just, I didn't hear from him personally that he wanted to sell. So we've had people in the past who have been, I don't want to call them victims of a mass rezoning, and then they come back not knowing that it was going to change their taxes drastically, so then they've asked to be zoned back.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I don't want to have to do that.
So his parcel's less than an acre in size. And then he was notified about all of the rezonings. He's gonna get notified again for the council meeting. So, I'll let them know that, in the meeting notice, to come to that meeting to discuss their rezoning opportunities at the council meeting. Because I want them to be able to express their concerns.
And the ramifications of it.
Yeah.
Yes, and we did get asked a lot about taxes, but I would say that's the only parcel that probably would be affected in taxes out of all of them. Because mixed use two is a greater zoning than town
Big
center.
yellow one?
So mixed use two, all these mixed use properties, there's only one other residential, this one. And that person the person that owns that is the salon owner down the street
Right.
as well. And then I think their taxes might go down actually from from mixed use two to town center, I don't know. And then VSR, they should stay the same because automotive uses are probably a greater use than anything that town center provides, so.
So that one right there in the corner, that's a beer salon, right?
Correct, this one right here is being under construction right now,
Yeah.
Beers. That would be also turned to town center, with this rezoning. I keep saying text amendment, but we had a lot of text amendments today, so.
With the change to the contiguous language, would it allow if that property owner wanted to be excluded? That they
would.
could, and you could still do the rest of the?
It would?
Okay,
Yeah, so.
but
for-
without that, it wouldn't, right?
Correct.
Okay, yeah,
For example, we wouldn't be able to do the rezoning
right.
at all if the text amendment didn't pass, the previous one doesn't pass. And then if he shows up at the council meeting and doesn't want his property rezoned, I'm sure council will be, take his, feelings, I don't know, feelings, desires into consideration, you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, they'll definitely discuss that with them and staff at the meeting. He's been notified, so,
He just might not know about the
we,
increase that it'll cost him.
it would, but would have a higher selling value, so it depends on what he wants to do with his property.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It just
The
depends if he
long-term
wants to
versus
sell it.
short-term
Yeah.
benefits.
It's a large parcel.
Yeah, it is a large parcel. That's the area.
So where are we? Do we have a motion? Need a motion?
As long
Still
as,
an opportunity for the property
yeah,
owner to.
he can come and talk to council about it.
They will get another letter before the council meeting.
Okay, I'll make a motion that, is it, rezoning RZ 204.010.01.
Let me find the statement of consistency.
And we
Sorry.
find that it is consistent and reasonable.
And I have a lot of based on, you can just say a few if you'd like.
Based on what?
Oh, I can read it for you if you'd like, and you can just say as stated. I don't mind doing that.
Yeah, as stated,
Okay, so I would say that we recommend the rezoning because we see the additional need for the additional uses in these areas besides automotive. This text amendment increases identity involvement in town of Stallings through the comprehensive land use plan, town center zoning consistent with the small area plan, and it helps increase the number of commercial businesses opportunities in the area. There you go.
Okay,
anybody second?
all in,
I'll second.
all in favor?
I want a restaurant.
Okay, item 7, discussion item. A, change to rules of procedure.
So I'm sad that Ryan's not here a little, because he is the one that, he had a great ideas, and I wanted to share them with you guys, take them home, look at these as well. We are going to take all of Ryan's questions and considerations and amend the ordinance the rules of procedure as needed at the next planning board. So I'm gonna bring back amended rules of procedure in March. I would say there doesn't need to be like a discussion right this second, but I really want you to look at these, look at the rules of procedure, email me about changes, and I'll bring them to planning board in March, because we are staff is going to bring an amendment to the rules of procedure in March. And the main reason is because of the public notice. We have to post the agenda outside 7 days prior to the meeting, and I think that's an antiquated requirement. We can post it online, it doesn't have to be exactly 7
Yeah,
days.
you brought
and
that up the
outside.
last meeting, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so, I wanted to discuss these, but I think the main text change that really affects everything is that meeting notice requirement. Everything else is about quorum, we need 4 people for quorum, and then the other one is just like, grammar and stuff like that, so I wanna just remove that requirement to post outside 7 days prior. I don't think anybody's reading that notice board anymore, I think it's gonna be online. And there's no state statute that requires us to post that meeting, that agenda for planning board outside. But, we'll bring that change to you next month, and I just wanted to make sure you had one final notice before.
Okay,
Yeah, that's it.
you have a motion to adjourn. Item 6.
I'll second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Hey.